What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Riter Kerr Golf Show. We are 6 days away from the 2024 Masters Tournament at Augusta National. I could not be more excited for it. We can't wait to get into the field a little bit, talk about our favorites. We're going to go through some sleepers. We got the live guys coming back. Gentlemen, first live show of the year, first in-person show of the year, if you will. Great to have you guys here. We got Robert Meara to my left side, Travis French to the right. We got Keegan Farrar producing in the back. He's going to do some fact checking, and we got Blaze Beeson doing some Blaze things over in the right corner. Gentlemen, what are we excited for this week? So many great things each year that we look forward to going into Masters Week, going into Augusta. What are some of the things that you guys love most about this week?
Other than the fact that it's the greatest major ever to me, I don't know. I just love it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the greatest. I think it's great. I think it's the greatest major. So
Yeah.
it's the Mecca to start the year.
Definitely,
Biggest one to kick off the year. So I mean, I'll start it off. I mean, I would love to see Brooks in the green jacket on Sunday. So
yeah.
that's my guy that I'm picking for this week. I hope he's in contention on Sunday. Going to be tough with. I mean, you got to figure Rom and Scotty are going to be there. Are they going to be paired together? Are they going to be split? Who's going to be in that final?
Split. I know Rom's pairings have come out. There's like a couple feature groups that have come out, but the pairings won't come out until I believe Monday.
Will come Sunday. I love how much drama we have.
Yeah,
with the live guys coming back in. There's so much drama. Still there. Like
especially for how they played last year. I think everybody was kind of looking for them. Anybody who's like a PGA Tour. Like anybody who's on tour is kind of looking for the live guys to probably play bad last year, and they kind of proved them wrong. Where Phil came in, I think he was like T2 or T3. Brooks came in, he was T2. He won the PGA not too long after. So I think it's going to be an interesting week in terms of like live guys coming and kind of showing for a second year if they can come get it done. But like French said, I think Masters best week of the year, first major. Gets everything started, and in terms of like just overall golf, it's the purest golf you'll see all year, purest course. It's just fun to see guys out there too. Like it's first major of the year, a lot of hype going into it, a lot of things I think I'm looking forward to. Par 3, nobody who's won the par 3 contest has won the Masters.
That's the winner of the par 3.
The winner of the par 3 on Wednesday. Nobody's gone on to win the Masters. So We'll see if that changes this year, but I always look forward to the par 3 because it's something you just see a little different side of guys, and then you see them Thursday through Sunday just go into that competitive mode.
What year did they not get to play the par 3?
It's probably had to be the COVID
year. Probably the COVID year, I'd assume, but I mean, par 3 is always fun, and then I always look forward to the opening tee shot. Just having some golf legends out there. That's another thing that's kind of. You've got some guys that aren't out there anymore, like Arnie. So it's always something to look forward to and see Nicholas, see Gary Player.
And speaking of Gary, now that we bring him up, he has come out and said that this is his 4th favorite major. This is his 4th favorite major.
I mean, he's got to love the players more. He's got to throw that in, even though it's not.
Yeah, I guess, but it's just. I mean, that's some malarkey. I mean, the fourth best major. I mean, like you opened the show with. I mean, it is the best major. And from what I'm looking forward to this week, is that just the opening scenes of the Monday live from the players. The whole live from the players set is the shot down Magnolia Lane, and just like that opening drive. They put the Masters on. The opening credits are rolling. They're doing the drone shot through Magnolia Lane, going up to the clubhouse. And then, I mean, just all like the still shots and the camera shots throughout the week of how green it is and all the azaleas. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. And we're in for a treat weather-wise. From what I've seen, we're looking at some mid-70s. I think it's going to be pretty mild. I don't think we're getting much rain before, which is good for the patrons. Probably won't see any Masters Desire Golf wipeouts this week.
Hopefully we don't see any trees falling on the course this year. I know that was something last year, just shows Augusta's power. They've got the tree farm out there and made it look like that tree that fell. I think it was Saturday last year.
Yeah,
made it look like
that nobody was hit.
Almost had a death.
The fact that there wasn't one.
They literally made it look like nothing had changed. They put something out on property by the next day, and so I always like seeing just Augusta how they always they always try and make it like one step better each year. And when it's the best major, it's hard to do that. But they always find a way to kind of get it done. And then touching back on Gary Player, I think the Gary Player take on being the fourth favorite major, you may have to remember that they banned his son, a couple of years ago. Whenever I think it was no free ads, but I think it was Encore Golf. If I'm wrong, there, fact check me, Keegan. But I think they banned him like lifetime, like his son, because he was holding that ball trying to get a little marketing pitch on the opening
pull the phone out.
He was like standing there and he had like the Encore golf ball or whatever it was. He had the brand sitting there, and then Augusta was like, that's a big no. You can't use this as like a marketing pitch for whatever company you've got stake in.
Very strict.
So maybe that plays into the take a little bit. I think also too that he feels like he's like slighted from them a little bit. I know I remember hearing like trying to get out there and play and stuff. He's like, oh, I can't get out there and play all the time. It's one of those things you'd think is a past multiple time like Masters winner. Be a little easier to get out there as a past champion, but maybe not.
Yeah. Keegan, we got something. What? Encore. All right.
But in 2019,
somebody got arrested at Augusta National.
Yeah. No, they take that stuff seriously. They're like, no, that's the thing too about this is the major where you don't see any like big ads plastered around. They haven't sold out to anybody. It's just pure golf. Always creates a good story for the weekend.
Yeah. All right. Lots to talk about. Lots to get into. We got a stacked field. I've complained about it once already this year. So tired of people talking about how can we consider this the best field in golf when not all the best players are here. They're here. First time this year. Yeah. Everybody's here. Everybody's coming. You can't talk about that anymore. We got to find some things to talk about here.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up because not a lot of people acknowledge that.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's all that's talked about all the time. We can't talk about it this week, and I'm pumped about that. Live from the players cannot talk about this. Isn't a fifth major anymore.
Live from the Masters.
Well, I'm saying live from the players because that's all they talked about live from the players. This is when I developed this take was during the players. I'm excited to be in the Masters. I'm excited for that fact. And yeah, let's jump into some favorites of the week here. We talked about it a little bit pre-show. Let's start with Frenchie. Frenchie, who you got as your favorite this week? You think it's going to slip on the green jacket at the end of the week?
I gave you my guy already. I gave you Brooks. He's got Brooks. Seeing him in Sunday green jacket, dapper. Are you kidding me right now?
I
would love to see this. I'd love to see Brooks.
He's king to go for the sixth for that to be his sixth major.
Yeah, and then to get a major back-to-back years too. Brooks. If anybody from Liv is going to do it, it's going to be Brooks because everybody's point on Liv not being able to come back and handle it is they're not playing 72 holes. They're not playing as much. But the thing about Brooks is that he doesn't want to play unless it's for something.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to see how he started last year's hole one.
You look at how it started though. Like Rahm started with a 4 putt.
I know on hole one. Yeah. Like, dude, it's crazy. The thing of like Augusta, there's holes out there that just eat your scorecard away like that.
They can slip away from you very easily.
Classic Speed 12.
I went back and rewatched the 2023 Masters film, and Rahm talks about that. I guess they got it afterwards or like whatever, but he was like, going back to the 4 putt. Seve 4 putted on one of his first times at the Masters when he won. I believe that's correct. And his quote was, "If I miss, I miss. If I miss, I make." And it's just like that's the mindset of like if it goes in, it goes in, and if it misses, it misses. And then you just keep going.
It's the first hole of the golf tournament too. That's the thing. You got 71 holes left at that point over the course of 4 days. So it's like you just got to keep that mindset of like, hey, you can't take yourself out on the first hole.
Speaking of that, I had a really fun conversation with Paul Stankowski today. Played in the 1997 Masters, got T5 when Tiger absolutely dominated and won his first Masters. But the cool thing about that year is Tiger's was 4 over through his first 9. He was 4 over through his first 9, and then he shot 19 under to win by 11.
Yeah,
I believe it was. Yep. It may have been even more. I think it was 12.
I'm sure a lot of people that week too looked at him. He's a young kid out on tour, a lot of hype to live up to, and big shoes to fill. Already just coming out of Stanford. And I'm sure there was people looking at him that week.
Well,
90s over 4, and there's he's got no chance. But
funny you say that because
read a book by its cover.
Paul in the first round, Stankowski was playing the group in front of Tiger, And after the front nine, they made the turn and they passed each other. And Paul said he looked at Tiger because Paul was kind of like a big deal at that time.
Yeah.
He was playing really well. He won those back-to-back weeks on the Nike Tour and then on the PGA Tour, which has never been done before and still hasn't been done. But he did have some hype going into that tournament. And as he makes the turn, I think Paul said he was maybe kind of floating around even number through the front nine. And Tiger's at 4. He looks at him and he was like, hey, like nice front kid, or like said so, like called him kid or like something like that. And then of course throughout the next 60 some odd holes, he just dominated, and that's what he did back then. He's in the field this week. Anyhow, let's get to our favorites first. Frenchies is Brooks. Robbie, who you like this week?
It's hard not to just talk about this guy this week, especially getting it done a couple years ago. I'm taking Scotty Scheffler as a favorite this week. He's already been playing good golf this year, getting the back-to-back at Arnold Palmer and then the Players, and being the first guy to win the Players back-to-back years, first guy ever to do it on tour.
Yeah, like
he's just, of course, like you said, I'm pretty sure that week we did the pod, of course it was Scotty who was the guy who got back-to-back Players. And with getting those 2 big wins under his belt, it's just more confidence-inducing of like going into the first major of the year. He won there, 2022, so before Rahm last year. You've just got to think he goes into this week and he's like, I've gotten it done here before. I know I can get it done again if I just get everything going, especially since, I know I'm talking about the golf gear tidbits on here. Ever since he switched to that mallet, he's done exactly what we kind of said. It's like, just get the putt rolling, be top 15 in strokes gained putting. He's consistently first in, strokes gained off the tee. So if you can just get in that, top 15
is going to be there, regardless.
It's going to be there, and so if he just gets top 15 strokes gained putting for that week, he's out there, and that's why he's such good favorites every week.
I think the guys that you have to look at this week, and it's hard to think that Scotty isn't going to win, especially when you look at Scotty's past. Like when he wins in bunches, and it happens early. We saw it last year, kind of through the Waste Management stretch, through the Arnold Palmer again last year, through the Players. And for what those tournaments are, like to get that confidence momentum moving into this week, it's hard to think that he isn't going to win. His odds this week are looking Tiger-esque. I think what is it, plus 500, plus 400 for Scotty?
I think it's plus 400.
So, to be under 1,000 for a golf tournament in general is something to say.
It's Tiger. It's Tiger.
Tiger was I think Tiger was plus 1,400. He's 14-1 odds in 2019 to win.
Mm-hmm.
So going into the first major of the year and being 4-1 odds, essentially that's wild.
His course knowledge and his greens books, because they don't show you the slopes in it.
And I was talking to somebody about his caddy.
If you want to talk about notes, that's the absolute mecca dictionary.
You gotta think Ted Scott, his caddy. He's been in the bag for 3 Masters.
It's a fact. It's a factor, dude. 1,000%.
2 with Bubba, 1 with Scotty. He's got so much course knowledge out there too.
Yep.
Course knowledge out here definitely prevails. 100%. Going into mine, my favorite this week, a little unconventional for me because I usually, stay pretty loyal to the PGA Tour. But I am going to go Jon Rahm this week. People forget that he was the number 1 golfer in the world before he went to live, and then couldn't get any more world golf ranking points. Scotty has come in. Yes, I agree. I would love to see Jon Rahm slinging it out here every week, but we don't get to. But like we've talked about in the past, we are watching potentially some of the best ball strikers of all time right now, and the best golfers of all time, and Scotty and Rahm and Brooks. Honestly, the top 5 right now can go on, and with Scotty's ball striking, if he could get the ball rolling, I think with Rahm, with what he's done here in the past and what he's learned here in the past and has shown that he can win, I think that these guys, the live guys, are definitely going to come in this week kind of looking to say that, just like last year. Will they do it? I don't know.
Like you said to start, dude, this is the 1 week a year, or not 1 week. More so the majors.
It's the first one this year.
Majors, but it's the first week of this year where everybody's there's not the question on the table of are the best here playing?
Because here.
Joaquin Niemann, he was the first one to get the special invite because he played well on the Asian tour. Won on Live. People, maybe the Live didn't really play into it. I think he's won twice this year on Liv's tour, but Joaquin Niemann, but I know he won on the Asian tour, and so he got world golf ranking points. And so it's one of those things that I think some of the live guys, like you said, they're coming out trying to prove a point, trying to make sure that they go out and prove that, hey, we're not just kind of slacking over here. Not speaking up for him or anything, but it's always interesting to see because that's always an ongoing battle right now, kind of in everyone's mind. So first major kind of sets that tone.
I'd be curious to see what the number wise from the Live versus PGA Tour, who has more green jackets right now on either side.
That's
a good stat. We'll have to pull.
Okay, so Phil's got what?
Phil's got 3, I think. I think he's got 2. He's got 2 or 3.
And then you go Patrick.
Sergio. He's got one. DJ has one.
John
has one. Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of guys over there who are like they're past champions, and even though you've removed them or they've removed themselves from the PGA Tour, they're still in that past champions dinner. They're still talking with these guys. So it's like it's still an ongoing thing, obviously with Liv and the PGA, but it's just interesting. I mean, we'll see what happens this week if Liv comes out to prove point this week and if they get it done. Because last year, I think they kind of blindsided everybody.
I mean, Phil was so slept on last year. He's still being slept on again this year.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that he's going to come out and play.
Is he 52 or 53 now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, I be honest with you, I haven't watched a second of Live. I've maybe watched 3 holes when it's on a third TV, whenever we're just Saturday or Sunday. But
Keegan, can you pull up Phil's final round stats from last year, or just what he shot?
I think he shot 6.
Yeah,
he was T2. He almost won, and I think he played well in one of the other majors too.
No, I'm pretty sure he played well at the PGA.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. He kind of removed himself from the initial Live stuff. He had a point to prove last year too, because whenever it happened, most people probably don't remember. There was that year where he didn't come out, and it was like the Masters and Augusta National had to come out and say like, "Hey, we did not send him an invite." Everybody was kind of on him in the media at the time. And it's like, we did not send him an invite. So him coming back last year, showing like, hey, I'm comfortable here. I'm past champion. It just shows that you do get the best players that week. And it's interesting just to see how they all kind of mesh together.
For sure. Seven down.
Phil would be like, I don't give a
8 down on Sunday for Phil. Are you kidding me?
So what's that? 64? Yeah, it's
crazy.
I mean, yeah. He was already the oldest major winner when he was at Kiowa when he won the PGA. That's that guy. I feel like
it was wild.
I feel like the older he's gotten, that like the more drive he's shown, because he's
just like a fine wine.
That was another one. Brooks also could have won, but seeing Phil win that was wild.
Yeah, I'd love to see Phil play well again. I always like seeing.
I think he will.
Another one of those guys again. Doing really well before they left. Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Cam Smith won the Open, beating Cameron Young kind of down the stretch there. And then I feel it was weeks. It was weeks after that, 2 or 3 weeks after that he up and left for Live.
Yeah, no.
After he won the Open, wins a majors, has solidified himself and the name in the PGA Tour. And then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go. What you can't fault him.
150 mil.
Yeah, 150 mil. No, he was sitting there like day 3 in the pressers and stuff, talking about like day 3 of the Open. I think holding the lead, and he was talking to the press about like I'm just focused on winning a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Like I don't have anything to comment on it. And then 2 weeks after, he just dipsets, goes over to Live, and so it's
so he did actually come to the club last year around September he was hitting shots on 17 for this corporate group that was coming through. And he came up to the shop afterwards, and he actually did like a Q&A with that corporate company.
Yeah.
And they were like asking him, a lot of these same questions, like, why the Live move? What's different with Live and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, you know what? Like, I was so stressed week to week, and like now it's a different kind of stress because he's running his team.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot that goes into running the team, I guess, on that side. But it's like a lot more business aspects. It seems like trying to make sure everything's organized in the right way, and the marketing and,
it's like
brand driving and all that kind of whatnot, and building the team, of course, because they kind of got to
the team names are still just such a joke to me.
Yeah, they're terrible. Like that's the thing. You look at it and it's like, unless you're a real golf nut and you know all the history, who knows who the cliques are, like all these different names, they miss the mark on that. But like you're saying too, the team aspect of like running a team and stuff, it's like if you're that captain or you have ownership stake in the team, they're trying to make it like an F1 type model where it's like you have all these guys on the team and it's kind of
Yeah.
Like they're trying to get sponsorships. They're now starting to get clothing deals.
That's a good
stuff.
point.
Like,
That's a good point. There's some viewpoints there that I haven't like really dived too deep into.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some beneficial things that come from that.
Well, for sure.
It's
It's like a different realm of
No,
it is.
I'm not
It's
standing.
evolving.
I'm not standing up for them in any means. I'm just
No.
saying it's one of those things that's evolving, and you've seen a lot of players in the past like 2-3 weeks. Like Rom and Phil got asked. I think I really haven't watched any live golf, but I've kind of kept up with the media side in general just to see how everything's evolving with them. And it was Rom and Phil sitting there, and one of the reporters asked him, like, how do you feel about like the split in golf, and what do you think needs to happen in the future going forward? And both of them were in agreement that like something needs to happen at some point because it's not good for the game. You're losing viewership. You're splitting the best players. And so at some point something will happen. But it's still, for the time being, it's still that kind of contentious talks between Liv. And
yeah.
You got to think that there's going to be some give somewhere, but I mean, the Red Sox owner and a few other wealthy individuals just invested into the PGA. So like
with a strategic sports group,
just
like
coughed up more money.
Yeah. Well, the strategic sports group investment too. We'll see how that plays in if they do make a deal with the PIF.
Hey, Keegan.
But
let's jump into a little bit of the main field here this week. Talk a little bit about the golf course. Short game and putting is going to prevail around here. Got to have touch. Got to have feel. The greens are going to be rolling pretty quick as always.
Yep.
So ball striking, of course, from the fairways. And you're looking at the guys that you don't necessarily have to hit it long, but the more accurate that you are with, like with the driver, better off you're going to be. So hitting your fairways here and just trying to put yourself somewhere on a green to make a putt. Now you're going to have to miss in the right places, or like around here. You can definitely get yourself in some trouble. So just talking about some of the kind of main field here. One guy I'm looking at first, I believe it's his first Masters. Keegan, will you check this after I say it? I believe it's his first Masters, Ludwig Ober. It's his rookie season, so first Masters kind of as a full rookie on the PGA Tour.
yeah,
He's been so consistent this year, and he's played well in the big tournaments. He made a push Sunday at the Players and through the weekend. I feel like coming into this week, a guy he doesn't have much experience, so that could hurt him. We'll see how the practice days goes and kind of what he's working on there. But I really feel like Ludwig could make a run at a top 10 here.
Absolutely. I mean, he ball strikes the heck out of it, and his swing is robotic. It is. I mean, it's a late '90s Tiger swing to me. Like he's so powerful.
Yeah,
He's long
Yeah.
too. I mean,
it being his first major or like first Masters too.
he's a well-rounded player.
Be interesting to see who he goes out and plays like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, plays his practice round with, because those are some guys like I know Ron last year played with with two past champions.
There's going to be some Ryder Cup influence and help of who he plays with. And
no, absolutely.
Wow.
And he's gonna. That's the
excited
thing.
for that.
President's Cup.
Being your
He played the Ryder Cup too.
no, yeah, he played Ryder.
Right, but we're still a couple years away from that one.
Yeah, but no, just playing your practice rounds with some guys, especially past winners, depending on who's in his groups. Whenever he goes out there and plays, that plays a big part in your week. Because like I know Jordan Spieth, whenever he won, he got out there, he played some practice rounds with past winners. But a big thing too is his caddy Greller went and talked to, I think it was Carl Jackson, who him and Ben Crenshaw won a couple majors together, or won a couple Masters together. And that's just like inside knowledge you get from an old Augusta caddy, or you get from somebody who's won there, caddy who's won there, and you get all that inside knowledge about the course that you don't get anywhere else.
I mean, you would assume that Justin Thomas would pick up on some of that knowledge from playing with Freddie and Tiger, but
True.
Yeah, I mean, that's another guy that I've been waiting to put on a green jacket every year that we come to the Masters, at least for the past 3. And this is a major that he typically plays pretty good at.
What size jackets you wear, Keegan? 34 slim.
JT. 30 slim.
I just remember John, little tidbit of John Peterson, old LSU golfer. I remember him saying he led the first hole. He's the first guy off at the Masters, like 2012 or something. He birdies the first hole and he sees his name up on the leaderboard at 1 under, and he's just thinking 42 slim.
42
First hole, he's thinking about his jacket size. It's like wrong.
That's the first wrong
For him to be in. 71 holes left.
A lot of holes
love
left.
the thought.
No, I'm hoping JT can find something this week. I mean, it's been a struggle bus the past couple.
Another one in there that I got to toss in is Xander. If I wasn't going with Brooks,
Form's looking good.
Xander just
Xander's playing this week. Can you tell us what Xander's at this week right now?
I don't think he's playing this week.
Is he not playing this week?
I don't know.
I think he played in Houston last week.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, I think he's.
Yeah. No, Xander's his form's been good. I thought he was going to make a run there. I mean, whenever he posted,
he was there. He finished back-to-back P2s, I'm pretty sure, or top fives at least.
Yeah. But whenever he posted that 8 under at the Players Sunday, I was like, that could be okay. Yeah. You know, I mean,
he'll do that. No,
he didn't play in Houston. Last one was Valspar. Okay. Yeah.
But prior to that, yeah, I mean, Bay Hill and the Players and stuff, he was playing in all those.
Yeah, no, Xander's form's looking good. Working with Como now, switch coaches.
Have you run into him yet?
Xander? No, I have not seen Xander yet.
I saw Siwu was out the other day.
I've seen Siwu.
I caught a glimpse of that.
I got to hang out with Siwu on the range for about 30 minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
And the wear mark on his pitching wedge is literally as big as a dime. It's just
good buddy of mine was selecting him for his favorite pick for this week.
I like Siwu this week. I mean, I talked about this before the Players, but since he won the Players back in
2018.
I want to say 18.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think it was 18.
Won in 18, but like after that one, you know, once you win the Players, I feel like that's one where like, okay, your name's definitely up on the radar coming into the major season, and he's typically played pretty well in a couple other majors. I mean, we've just been waiting for him to win another one.
Yeah,
and I hope he's close.
He's a beauty.
He's got a beautiful swing.
Taking off that, just waiting for a guy to win another one. I know we're looking at some sleeper picks in a little bit, but guys who I still think have a solid chance. Looking at Spieth, guy who this week, looking at him play at Valero, he's playing decent out there.
Wasn't playing great until the hole.
Well, but getting your game in shape. Getting your game in shape though, like me and Travis talked about pre-show.
I'm glad he's playing this week.
You're talking about how Valero's it's a little bit better field this week and it's playing a little harder. So I think those guys kind of taking a take from Travis. I think those guys who play this week are going to be happy when they get to Augusta next week and are like, my game's in the right shape. I've kind of peaked at the right time, or I'm starting to peak.
It's blowing in San Antonio now too.
Which, I mean, for me, I love the route of taking Houston off and then playing right before the majors, because the best way to prep is to play.
Yeah,
to get to feel like you have momentum going into.
Houston looked like a long, tough course as well. So the people that have been playing well these weeks going into it, like they'll be prepped well.
So a young guy that did play this week, he's playing very well this week. Went nuclear on the first day is Akshay Bhatia.
Yep. Got him in my lineup this week.
This is a guy that like again, you know, turning it into the centuries, 20 years old, young dude.
Want to see him get it done this week.
Been a pro since he was 17.
Love to see him get it done this week. If he gets it done this week, I don't like his chances as much for the Masters next week.
You peak a little too early.
As it is hard to win, you know, on the PGA Tour in general. But his game is looking really, really good. And he's been trending in the right direction. Ball striking, I mean, he's hitting the ball to 6 feet, inside of 6 feet on almost every single hole when he's inside 170 yards. I mean, it's just been unreal to watch. So if he can keep it going, you know, buck 30 soaking wet, I think he could make a run at a Masters push for sure.
Absolutely.
He's starting to hit that stride too, where he's like, he was a pro golfer when he was 17. He didn't go to college, so he skipped that step and turned pro. And a lot of people at the time probably looked at as like guy with no status. Going to be a long road, but he's proven that he's tournament ready. He's tournament proven. Even when he was younger and he'd get the kind of like sponsors and invitations or like sponsors exemptions. I mean,
playing out here when he was what? It was like 14, 15.
Yeah, no, he's been around. Like he was playing Monday Qs when he was like 14, 15.
Yeah.
So
he's still my number one. And he is where I would love to be where Scotty's at is Jordan. Like that is like the caliber that I hold him to.
Yeah.
And he's not there right now. And I wish he was. And it breaks my heart that he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see him be back. We saw glimpses of it early at Pebble, you know.
Yeah, throw him in there like he knows Augusta well. He's got a good book. He's got a good book that he refers to.
Another guy that I kind of left out when we were talking about just other guys to look for in the tournament, guy who's always kind of had a good track record at Augusta is Tony Finau.
Yeah.
Like he was back in 2019, he was in that final group, and it's like all these young guys.
I had to sprinkle it a little on him for that.
It's like all these young guys though who were like coming up, and as Tiger was kind of making that comeback, like winning the Tour Championship 2018, winning the Masters 2019. As that was happening, these guys are like, my dream's coming true. I want to play with these. I want to play with Tiger on Sunday.
Yeah.
I want to see him in Sunday red, like back nine of a major. And so I know Tony Finau talked about it, and he was like, it was one of those things that you didn't think was going to happen, but like he's played well out there. He's performed under pressure. And so if he gets his start early this week, ball striking, he's a guy, I think he's got the power to get around the course, maybe cut some of those corners.
Yeah.
And so I think he's another guy to look forward to.
I had sprinkled back to that. I sprinkled on Tony and Francesco Molinari that year, and they both folded on Tony.
Molinari's shot though, I think it was him too who hit the tree on 13.
Yeah,
like second shot on 13, he hit the tree, and it was like this Masters is over for him.
Yeah.
All right, so before we jump into sleepers of the week, a couple more guys that I want to mention before we do that. Hideki Matsuyama, obviously won a few years ago. I think he's been starting to play better. Had a pretty good early start to the Players. Didn't play that well on the weekend. But Hideki's always going to be a little bit of a sleeper coming into the Masters.
Yeah.
I think he's always a threat. The other one is Will Zalatoris. Will Zalatoris' putter has been a lot better this year.
Get that broomstick putter going.
Yeah. As much as I hate it, and I hate
I mean,
I'm not a
broomstick. You're not a broomstick fan.
I'm not
either. I love Scotty. I don't think my
no, they feel great. It's a different style of putting though. Like when you switch to that broomstick, where like a guy like Lucas Glover, he talked about it, and I know he said for going into this week, he's looking forward to obviously playing golf, like playing the course, but he's looking forward to getting on the greens because he's like, this is my first time playing Augusta with that putter and with that kind of technique, and so I'm going to be interested to see guys like that who do have the broomstick. See if they have a leg up or see if those greens are a little too fast for them and see where they end up.
Yeah. Luckily, we're not playing this one in the fall, and we have an anomaly.
Yeah, the
DJ breaks the record.
The little DJ fall, the Masters.
The biggest joke of the jacket ever. Like, I mean, hats off to him. He performed well. It's a jacket, so congrats to him. But like,
score though too. You're getting like
one time you play it in that part of the year.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, that's true. Maybe an asterisk by his name.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's got to be an asterisk on the winner this year, considering that I don't think what's his name, Taylor Gooch is so. Yeah,
wait, you send him an invite.
Players I think they sent him one on April 1st. He opened it up, was real happy, and then read the fine print.
I think they sent it to Blaze instead on accident.
Blaze Tiger Beeson.
All right, let's talk sleepers of the week. I'll start things off. Struggled early. He's struggled throughout the year. He's been struggling for a while now. But Max Homa opened up his round yesterday with 4 under. I believe he finished at 2 over today.
That was fine.
Going into
it's a good sleeper.
The weekend. But I would love to see Max Homa put on a green jacket. I think his Twitter feed would be phenomenal after that. And like I said, we've always said this before, but another one of these guys that is just like, just can't break through. He's got the JT. He's got the Ricky. It's like he's a great player. He's shown that he can do it, but he hasn't done it in a major yet.
Yeah, I know we are still waiting on that one major from him, and I'm hoping that he gets it done too because he's an elite ball striker, arguably top 5 on tour.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
When you go around Augusta, you got to take the Tiger approach to it. The no doubles, birdie your par 5s.
Yeah.
Leave them
3 putts.
No 3 putts. You gotta leave it in the right spots.
Yeah.
And I mean, Max can do that. He's an elite ball striker. So I mean,
waiting on the week.
Waiting on the week, waiting on the conditions, pairings, wins. Like if it lines up in his factor, it's sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, I think kind of off that same thing. I'm talking about another kind of sleeper. I'm looking at Victor Hovland. He's one of those guys who he started off the year pretty good, and then he's kind of slowed down a little bit. Hasn't been playing the best golf in recent history, but I think coming in this week, he's another elite ball striker. He can be so consistent, or if he maybe finds something in his game early in the week in a practice round, finds a little confidence getting around the course, he could be one of those guys kind of up there this week, guy to look for.
Yeah.
And then going to take a little second sleeper route. I know we've talked about these young guys coming up on tour. You got Nick Dunlap, going to be his first Masters. He already qualified before he won in Palm Springs, before he won there. He qualified because he won the USAM. So he was first on the list. He was going to be the USAM winner playing in the Masters. Now you've got him playing as a pro, and then guy who finished second, Neil Shipley. I think he's going to be a sleeper guy this week. He's going to be somebody who he kind of takes the place as like the guy who should be low AM, like should be expected to win low AM since he got second in the USAM. And so I'm going to take him as a sleeper this week. If I expect him to make it to the weekend and have a good showing, because I watched him out in Colorado at the USAM. He's got elite ball striking, elite driving, and just so much touch around the greens that I think if he gets out there and kind of gets that confidence early in the week, just finds his way around the first couple of days, makes it to the weekend. Not saying he's going to be a guy up there on the top of the leaderboard or anything, but I think he could be a guy who hangs around, maybe in the kind of like T30, T35 range. He's one of those amateurs you want to look for, kind of like Sam Bennett last year, where he kind of ran away with it a little bit, ended up having a good finish. So, yeah, I think there's some sleepers out there this week that we'll see.
Frenchie, who you got?
It was Max. We already talked to him. I don't know. I've already kind of touched on Brooks, Jordan, Max. Those are my guys. Throw another lefty in the mix, actually.
Okay.
A little flyer.
Harmon? You gonna say Brian Harmon?
You got it, bro.
Yes.
Bro. I mean, it's something about the lefties out there. Like I've heard Bones talk about it on the NLU podcast years back when he actually caddied for Max at the PGA. I think we've talked about this as well.
Yeah.
But he said something. I mean, another reason why the lefty won at a major, Phil, at that PGA, he was playing in a different wind direction than everybody else. Think of a righty having to hit into the wind direction. So that can still play a factor out here too.
You think about aim in corner, right? Like the shot.
No,
exactly. Righties are hitting into a direction all day, and then you're 4 or 5 lefties in the field.
Yeah,
that's true.
I saw something earlier today, literally talking about the lefty advantage on Augusta, because you've got like 4 or 5 holes that kind of set up for like, especially like think of 13. That sets up for a draw from a righty, but a guy like Phil, a guy like Brian Harmon just hits his normal power cut drive out there, cuts around the corner, and they've got that lefty advantage where, like you said, he's playing a different wind direction. He's playing a different setup on the course. So I think the thing I saw, they said there was the most lefties in the field was like 6. I think we got 4 this week. So
Harmon, Phil.
With that advantage, Harmon, Phil,
Akshay. Akshay's guaranteed spot if he went. He's already in.
He was already in, but I can't remember who the last lefty is, but maybe see if one of those guys.
I mean, Harmon always just finds a way to play well in the majors. Anytime it's on the line, Harmon steps up and he plays.
That putter, man, past major winner.
It's just like, what's the word I'm looking for? He's got that guy's got moxie. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, he's got moxie.
No, dude, he just hangs around.
He's not going anywhere.
I mean, like, just thinking back to the Open last year. He was
That's
like,
exactly what I'm
one
thinking.
of those guys who like he didn't do anything super special on Sunday. He just
wrapped away his run.
he went out there and parred him to death. He was like, he basically was just like, come catch me.
Yeah.
I think he was like 12 under.
Yeah,
I think
he kind of posted.
Like, come catch me. Like, I'm just gonna party you to death.
It's not what
I need to do
Akshay's
anything
gonna do
special.
Saturday, Sunday this weekend.
I need that. I need that.
I mean, he's in a good spot.
I hope you win it. I need a nice little care package.
Yeah, I need a nice little grace and care package before we hit up California in May. I need some,
shout out that beautiful man.
Need some new golf attire before we hit up Palm Springs in May. So, looking for a big week out of Akshay, big finish. Hate to say it, but I think Thad's already declared that he's choked again on this.
Choked out of it. I promised Thad that we would talk about it.
He did get first in points last week, so we had the show early last week, but he did get first in points, picked the winner. So
I wish he could join. I wish he could join us.
We need to get Thad on this back.
I'm selfishly rooting for myself this week. You know, Akshay Bhatia, I want that $500.
Yeah,
I want the grace and care package. All been leading up to this week.
All right, let's round out the show. Jumping in the lock of the weeks. I'll kick things off. I'm going top 20. Got to talk to his caddy earlier in the week. They played Monday, Tuesday last week, so they took a little field trip. Got a practice round in before he went and played this week. So this is one of those guys that's getting the reps in. right before the Masters. Austin Eckert for a top 20. Got the win at the Cognizant. Kind of had some ups and downs throughout his career.
I like that.
First trip out here to the Masters. I'm hoping to see him play well. I hope people can get everything, take the motivation he got from the Cognizant, and kind of how he's only missed one cut this season out of 9 starts now. Let's see if he can get everything going together, make a good push. Top 20 out of Masters. I think he could even go as low as top 10 here.
I like that. I think guy I'll probably take. I'm just gonna take. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go with. God damn it! I'll edit this.
Always a lock.
Yeah, always.
Top 5.
I mean, you could go
Shuffler top 5.
That's what I'm.
No, you're gonna have to take away. You're gonna have to not go to top 10 because it's guaranteed top 5.
Right. That's
Plus 140.
I know
I'm
it's
thinking either Scotty Scheffler. I'm gonna go Scotty Scheffler like top 5 because he's a guy up there who can work his way around the course, or I'm gonna go Jordan Spieth top 15 because even when he doesn't win, even when he's not peaking, really not like playing well leading up to it, even if he doesn't finish well this week at Valero, he always plays well.
He'll be in a spot where he think he can shoot 8 under and maybe win.
And
right?
he gets confidence on Thursday, or just even plays even keel on Thursday, like maybe one or two under round going into Friday, Saturday. Those course conditions,
those middle rounds for him.
No, exactly.
That's when he finds
he gets it rolling before the weekend. He gains that confidence and is like, I've been here before. I know he's had the blow up there on 12 before, but we'll say that's in the past. That's out of his mind. He doesn't think about it anymore. But he's got to look out for this week too. I'm gonna ride with Spieth top 15.
Spieth top 15. Frenchie, take us home.
Scheffler, man, gotta go Scheffler.
What are you
I
going?
mean, I don't even know. I don't think actually.
Are you calling a dub?
No, dude, no, I'm not calling.
He's already
that.
got the top 5, so you gotta say at least top 3.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you want to bet the top 10 so bad, but the odds are so bad already.
I think you can look outside. I think you stick with your gut here. I think you go with the initial decision. You pull the trigger on a top 5 for your boy.
I mean,
that's a good look.
Yeah,
that's a good look.
We'll go Scotty top 5.
Brooks top 5. That's what I was thinking.
Gotta go.
That's what Frenchie's pick should have been. Brooks top 5.
I mean, you go and live golfers. You're going for the Brooks.
Would you go Rahm top 10? What are his odds?
I sure would. Rahm looks pretty damn good.
See, I'm thinking of it though in the sense of like you got Rahm on you got Rahm on a lot of other things on his mind this week.
John Rahm, brother.
He's got the champion. God. He's got the Champions Dinner this week. He's got a lot of people. He's got a lot of people to entertain. You know, being the past winner. So
here, hold on. Our last lefty was Bubba. Yeah, it's for a live golf appearance over here. This is now the most I've watched it.
See, most I've kept up with recently is Anthony Kim because this last little tidbit on live before he ended anything, but I just find it funny of how he was out of the game for so long and he's learning about things like. He just learned you can drop from your knee. You just learned you can take like practice swings. First tournament, I think he was dropping over his shoulder, and he was basically like, "Yeah, no, this TrackMan stuff, like it's cool to see how it's progressed, but I'm not a mathematician."
He's like, shit is that the live guys wear their live stuff.
That's like the biggest fuck you though to Augusta National. The first year they did it, where you got
disrespect.
You got Phil out there wearing the high flyers.
Augusta National should find them.
Around. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little slipped in fee there. Just be like, yeah, you're stay for the week. Anything you got this week, slip in a little fee for you wearing that live shit.
They can afford it. They got paid.
Well, it's going to be a fun event. That's all I know. I can't wait for it. Robbie, Frenchie, Tegan, and Blaze, thank y'all for coming out. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope y'all enjoy the Masters next week. Take you a nice Jim Nance nap on Saturday or Sunday. And we'll see who slips on the green jacket come next week. Love you guys. Have a good one.